Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, look like they are changing a lot of the rules when it comes down to getting green cards when you marry, because there's a lot of scamming going on with that. I remember when I was 19 years old, an East Indian man had approached me and he offered money if I would marry one. I guess this was one of his relatives, to get their green card, and I said, "No, I don't marry no strange man, especially some East Indian, please." But I know this is something that's been going on for a long time, and now they are saying even if you are, let's say, you have the kind of job that may take you out of the house for a while, like a trucker or somebody that might be gone for a few days or a few weeks, you can lose your green card if you got to physically be there. If you can't prove that you are physically in the home all the time, then a lot of people that have green cards will get revoked. So you can ultimately, because of the type of job you have that takes you out of the house for certain periods of time, you can lose your green card because I guess there's been so many people, scamming the system with fake marriages and everything. Now they are now going to crack down on all of that starting the very beginning of 2026. So they're not playing with people. They are not playing. So if you have a spouse and they're still overseas and not here, that's going to present a big problem. A big problem. So, y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm not surprised that they are changing things when it comes down to immigration because, if I think of a lot of these folks didn't come over here committing crimes, they probably would have overlooked many things. But now that we keep hearing about the scamming and the fake degrees and all that stuff, yeah, now they're going to change things. And that's exactly what they're doing. Oh, well. All right. Oh, before we get to that, I want to show y'all the full video of, I'm going to season the ham with water. I want y'all to see the full video and then we'll get into the green card by marriage. All right. Boy, this woman is really slobbery in the kitchen. So let me just give you some warning, but you'll get a good laugh out of it. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Yeah, girl here says she seasoned her ham with water. Oh man, that was just too much for me. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start by just seasoning with some water. All right, so I'm supposed to cover it with a tent. So I made a tent. It's not Christmas without sharp cheddar. I'm gonna do 2 pounds worth. A little bit of butter. These are pecans mixed with the butter, and then flour. A little bit more butter. Some minced onion. I just don't feel like cutting a regular one. It's Christmas, so I'm gonna do what I want. We'll do minced onion. Butter, cheese, potatoes,
I need more butter. Good job. So proud of you. Mix it with the butter. Checking on the hams, and I'm just going to baste it a little bit. Brown sugar, pineapple juice, Dijon. Best way to do these, you take them and you just roll. For Christmas dinner, I made cookies, crescent rolls, 2 hams, cheesy potatoes, pistachio tort. I'm also bringing green beans and drinks. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you later.
Now, y'all saw half of that crescent roll fell on the floor. Okay, y'all saw that, right? And she slammed it so hard. She's very rough in the kitchen. She slammed them crescent rolls so hard, half of it fell on the floor. Man, there are some people I can honestly say I would never eat at their house. I would never eat at their house. Never. Yeah, and she noticed she don't clean nothing. Did you see her clean one thing? She don't clean anything. And then when she said, "I'm gonna baste the ham," the what she had in the turkey baster looked just like water. She was basting the ham with water. You know? Look, y'all, I mean, I remember when I was growing up back in the day, yeah, like many families, my mother made ham and, we had an Easter ham and then we had another ham. But, she would hook it up like a lot of Black parents would hook up the ham. You put some ham glaze on there and, you would get the pineapples and you just hook it up. But this woman, oh man, I'm going to season it with water. Wow, that's a first. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life. I never heard of anybody seasoning anything with water. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. That's some bland ass cooking. All right. All right. So let me share my screen again. All right. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Oh, no. I mean, you know what? She probably cooks like that, y'all, because that's probably how her mother cooked. I bet you that's how her mom cooked, and she saw her mother cook like that, so that's how she cooks. Thank you.
If you're married, living apart, your green card case is already going down the tubes. For a marriage green card, immigration only cares about one thing. Do you live together as husband and wife? They don't care if you're a traveling nurse. They don't care if you're a truck driver and come home once a month. They do not care if it's temporary or for work or any other reason. Immigration officers wear blinders. They're like a horse. They're trained to look at one thing and one thing only. In fact, the regulations say a bona fide marriage is where you live together every day. So if you're not living in the same house every day, immigration is going to start questioning the marriage. And once they question it, they're investigating. And once they come knocking on your door, they're looking to deny you. So if you want a marriage green card, you live together, period. Don't split hairs. Don't be like, well, I have this job. The job is not as important as getting a green card. Go find a job around your home, because being in a relationship is not enough to get your green card. Living together is what gets you your green card.
It's confirmed. Marriage may no longer automatically grant a green card. That's right. If you marry a U.S. citizen, it won't just hand you permanent residency anymore. We're making real changes to the system. For too long, people have been using marriage to bypass immigration rules. We need to tighten things up. Make sure that when someone gets a green card, it's for the right reasons. This new policy will ensure that only those truly committed to building a life in America will be allowed to stay. The process will now require more proof and more transparency. This is about fairness to the American people and securing our borders. It's not about stopping love. It's about making sure the system works for everyone. This plan is designed to protect American jobs and ensure that immigration remains legal and fair. We're going to make sure that marriage is not a shortcut, but a genuine commitment. Stay tuned
From all of
for
us
more
at
details.
USA State,
The
stay
change
hopeful,
is coming.
stay informed.
Trump's new marriage green card rules and policies 2025 to 2026. What spouses must know. Today, we're diving into Trump's new marriage green card rules and policies for 2025 to 2026. If you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident sponsoring your spouse, this is crucial info. We'll cover the key changes, what they mean for you, and some brand new updates. The process to in 2025, potentially affecting extended and evidence requirements. A positive
New marriage green card rules and policies 2025-2026 for spouses must know. Trump's 2025-2026 marriage green card policies tighten enforcement for US citizens and permanent residents sponsoring spouses. The changes include mandatory in-person interviews, increased fraud scrutiny with more documentation, reinstatement of the public charge route, longer processing times, and limits on a family reunification. New 2025 updates include ending the refugee family expansion, the Big Beautiful Bill Act, affecting eligibility and deportation risk, and USCIS guidance clarifying retention procedures. Applicants should gather strong
the President Biden green card program for 500,000 people married to U.S. citizens in the United States is going to happen. I made an update about it last week. And you know what? USCIS, now it's on their website as well. Okay, I'll post a link for where they talk about the steps and the process and what the eligibility is. Okay, now that announcement came in June, and this month in July, you're already seeing updates on USCIS website talking about the eligibility and the steps for it. Okay, officially, it's not going to launch until a little bit later this month in July, but the USCIS website is already detailing some of the criteria for the eligibility. I'm going to talk about it now because a lot of people had questions about this, and there's a lot of confusion. People have been doing consultations with me, misunderstanding some of the key facts. Okay, I want to make sure that you guys have the key facts and you understand what you can do to qualify and start the process. You can even start now in terms of preparing your case in your file, because there's lots of information out there available on what the requirements are that you need. Okay, so the first thing that was the most obvious thing is that you have to be present in the United States without admission or parole. Don't worry, if you came on a visa, I can get you a green card if you're married to a U.S. citizen through regular adjustment of status. Check my other videos about that. This is for people who came without admission, without parole, okay? And you have to have lived in the United States for at least 10 years as of June 17th, 2024. You can't show up last year. You can't show up 5 years ago. You got to be in the United States for at least 10 years. That's really critical, okay? And then the third thing is the most obvious one. You got to be in a real marriage, a real bona fide marriage. You can't just have gotten married last month thinking you could do something. It's got to be a legitimate marriage, okay? Check my videos upon what a bona fide marriage looks like in terms of documents and evidence. But those are the three things that are really critical that you can start putting your evidence together. You know why? All the lawyers are like, oh, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to see what happens. You can file an I-130 today, tomorrow, if you meet all those criteria, because regardless of what happens, the steps in the process, they're going to require you filing an I-130 petition, which I've done on other videos. Check those out as well. And what the evidence are, the steps are, the requirements are. The only thing is, this is going to allow you to stay in the United States and get parole in place, which I've done videos on how to do that as well for other people, such as military family members. But this is going to allow like 500,000 people to do parole in place for a period of time and then do adjustment of status. I've done videos on adjustment of status as well. Check that out.
Did you hear the big news about marriage-based green card cases? USCIS and Immigration Customs Enforcement are going to work a whole lot more closely to see if there's people that they can put into deportation. In an August 1st update to the USCIS policy manual, they say that just because you file an I-130 petition doesn't mean that ICE won't start deportation proceedings against you. This means that if your spouse is out of status at the time that you apply for a green card, they can receive a notice to appear in deportation court at the interview, before the interview, or after the interview. This is a huge change, and it's going to make things very complicated, very stressful, and very expensive, because now you'll have to file an I-130 not knowing if ICE is going to come get you at your interview. And even if all they do is give you notice to appear, you're going to have to go to immigration court and go through those years of delays, hoping that the judge gives you a green card. This is a huge change that not enough people are talking about. So keep paying attention.
If you're married to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, it's time to get ready. USCIS is raising the bar, and they now require clear proof of a genuine marriage. No shortcuts. Joint bank accounts, shared living arrangements, photos together, everything will be carefully reviewed. And yes, your social media will be considered too. USCIS is focusing on ensuring everything is authentic. If you can't provide strong evidence, it could cause issues. Interviews are required for everyone. Be prepared to answer detailed questions about your relationship. No small detail will be overlooked. For refugees and asylum seekers, informal marriages won't be accepted anymore. You'll need a legally recognized marriage in the country where it occurred. So double check your forms, get ready for the interview, and make sure you're following all the rules. Stay on top of everything to ensure the process goes smoothly.
All right. Well, it looks like they are leaving no stone unturned. They are looking for any reason to get folks out of here now. So if you are the kind of person that got a green card and you're hardly ever home with your family, you're going to run into a lot of problems and possibly deported. They want to see consistency. That's what they want to see. So if you are the kind that don't like being, in the household, or you got a job away, that's not going to be acceptable now. It's not going to be acceptable. So, y'all, look, the bottom line is this is going to be another means of forcing people out of here. That's what it's going to do. It's going to push a lot of people out of here. And I already showed you videos a few weeks ago how ICE is showing up at green card interviews and detaining people. So they're not safe when they go for these green card interviews. Some is on the day they're supposed to get sworn in as citizens and they get detained by ICE. So it is not going to be easy for them anymore. Well, a lot of these foreigners out here that are truckers, they really shouldn't be on the roads at all. Especially they said the East Indians are the ones that cause the most accidents. The trucking accidents is mostly them. And they shouldn't be out here anyway. If you can't speak the language, you shouldn't have that kind of job. And they're actually still firing people because that was one of the requirements. Donald Trump said all truckers must be able to speak English. And some of them, and I saw as far as a week ago, are still getting fired because they can't speak the English language. So that is still happening. So now you got one more thing for these folks, these immigrants, they're going to have to worry about. Oh, well, you can always self deport and go home. That's what you could do. If you don't want to potentially get nabbed in court, because I have showed many videos of ICE going down to the courthouse. As soon as people walk out of that courtroom, they get detained. So it might be in your best interest just to board the plane and leave on your own. That's all I'm saying. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude, and I'll be back about 8:30. We're going to talk about Three Eye Atlas. I've been looking at astrophotography Ray, and he's been pointing out some changes in Three Eye Atlas. And the thing is, it's still in our solar system. It didn't leave. Because remember, they said, oh, it's going to go by Jupiter and then it's going to leave. Well, it's still lingering around, and they're pointing out that it's changing and it's changing course and everything. So they really don't know what's going to happen, y'all. They really don't know. Look at how many times they've been wrong. I mean, they really, truly don't know what's going to happen. So I will see you at 8:30. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And, and stay away from Karens in the kitchen. Shalom, family.